Good morning, April. Thank you so much for joining us this morning with
Well,
She
thank you for having
Serves.
me. I'm excited.
We're excited to have you here. We would love to know just a little bit about you, who you are, when and where you served, and who you are today.
Well, I live in Middle Tennessee. I'm about an hour west out of Nashville. I went in December of 1994 and retired in 2014. Um, Today, I am a personal development coach and speaker, and it has definitely been a process to getting to this point. So I'm very excited to be here.
Thank you. And absolutely, I totally understand that. So you retired in 2014. Congratulations and kudos to you. And thank you so much for your service. So the gap in between from there to now, what was your kind of journey to entrepreneurship after the military lifestyle?
Of It was quite a process, and actually, my husband and I, he's also retired military. We bought a store when we even before he retired first. We bought a convenience store in the area that we're going to retire in, and he moved to Tennessee before I even retired. So that was our first venture into entrepreneurship. We had a close friend pass away, and we realized that, you know what, life's too short. So we sold the store. And then it was an adventure to try to figure out what I wanted to do. I took quilting classes, I took gardening classes, I cooked a lot. We worked around our property. We've got 93 acres, so that kept us busy. I got my real estate license. I got involved in direct sales. So I just say that that was God preparing me for the journey that He was going to put me on. So the path that He was going to put me on, because I did a lot of growing, I did a lot of self development during that time, and here I am today.
So who do you coach? Who do you help?
I help. My focus is women, and I know that's a broad category. And I always preface that by saying I'm not a man hater. Okay, I like men, but I think there's so many resources out there for men that I think as women, it is our duty, our responsibility to help each other. To adjust that crown on each other's heads, and just keep on trucking. And if I can do that, because I look at the life that I've been through, and God did not put me through all of that just for my own benefit, just to exist. So it's my duty, it's my responsibility to, try to help women go through whatever they're going through to get through
Absolutely.
it a
So
little
what is the
easier.
name? What's the name of your program?
Well, it's the company name is the April Childers, because April Childers was taken, so you kind of gotta be creative when you're looking for domain names. Um, it's a process. Right now, I'm in the process of creating courses. I'm doing a webinar this December 28th, and I'm starting my first course in January, and it's going to be creating smart goals for 2024, because I know along the way, you know, I don't know about you, but New Year's resolutions do not work for me. The only New Year's resolutions I ever kept was not to make any more. So the from there, it's been a process of learning how to create goals that I could work with, because I mean, after being in the military for so long, that you're used to being told what to do. People give you your goals. So when you all of a sudden have the freedom to develop your own goals, it's like, okay, how do I do this? And how do I accomplish them? That's what's important. How do I put processes in place so I can actually accomplish my goal and not, by the end of January, be floating around with no direction?
That's awesome. So how do we get more information in participating in this in January?
I do have a link for you, and I can, I'll give it to you, and you can put it in the comments. And I actually have an extra gift for your listeners because when they register for the webinar, I will actually send them a of electronic. I'm thinking the words coming to me. Don't you hate that?
No
It's Monday
problem.
morning. Journal.
Exactly.
I have an elec Yes, I have an electronic journal every day I've gone through. I've got different prompts for every day. So, because sometimes looking at that blank page is a little intimidating and your mind starts to wander and you lose focus. So, I've done a prompt every day and they can just go through, they can print it out if they like to write. I'm a writing girl. I've got lots of journals, but some people just like their computer and they just can take a few minutes and sit and type in their journal every day. So it works for whoever, however they like to do it.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. We will definitely get that link out so that we can be ready for New Year's. We're working on a lot of our things as well. We want to make sure that we're productive in 2024. This 2023 just, I mean, a blink. It was a blink this year.
Yeah. I tell my husband all the time, the older I get, the faster time goes.
It definitely feels that way. So we'd love to just
Mhm.
learn more about you. What made you, if we can go all the way back, just so we know who April is, how did you even join the Navy? Where did that road come from?
That was a process also. I didn't join until I was 28.
Okay.
I looked at it when I was in high school, you take the ASVAB and everything like that. And I was going to join the Army then. And I don't even remember why I didn't. When I look back, I'm like, why didn't I do that? I think I saw another shiny object and went on with something else. Because when you're 18 years old, shiny objects happen all the time. And when you're 57 years old, shiny objects happen all the time.
Sure.
So, yeah. But, and then a few years later, I looked at it again. It was right at the beginning of the first Gulf War, and the recruiter, believe it or not, was busy with other stuff. And he's like, "Oh, I'll get back to you. I'll get back to you. We're just trying to get out some reserve units, and it's just a lot going on." I'm like, "Okay, I understand that." And then you have that kind of second thought in your mind, like, do I really want to do this? But he never called back. So a
Mm.
few more years went by and I was working full time. I was going to college at night, taking evening classes, night classes. And I had a friend that was in the reserves and they were paying for her school. She drilled once a month. And I was like, something's wrong here. I'm doing this the hard way. So I think she was in Air Force Reserves. I went and talked to the Air Force, and they were like, "Oh, you're too old to go into our reserves." Like, seriously, 28? So I felt really old. um, there was a Marine recruiter that was in the same office, and I think he got extra points for females. I don't know, but this man called me every week. Every week he would call me. And he's the one that started talking to me about going active duty. I had never considered that. And I was like, I appreciate that, but I'm not a Marine. I am not Marine material. Trust me when I tell you this. So I ended up at the Navy recruiter. I took their little practice ASVAB, and he said, "Well, when can you take the real ASVAB?" So I had to take time off work. I went and took it. And I told him, I said, if you can get me something that I can do in the civilian world in case I don't like the military, I'll join. So they offered me fire controlman, and then they explained what they did. And I'm like, I can't see in the civilian world that I'm going to really be firing missiles at anybody, but okay. But I didn't realize how electronic intensive that was. They offered me air traffic controller, and all I could think, and I don't know how old you are, but when Reagan was president and the air traffic controllers wanted to strike at Christmas time, and he was like, "No, you're not going to do that." And they were talking about how stressful it was and how high the suicide rate was. And that's all I thought about. I was like, I don't want to be an air traffic controller. I didn't realize it was much easier in the Navy.
Mm.
And they offered me electronics technician, and they explained it, and I was like, "Electronics? I could do that in the civilian world if I don't like the military." And I joined, and, yeah,
And 20
that's how
years
I
went
ended up
by.
there. 20 years went by. Yeah, you look back and you're like, day for day, it took forever, but when you look back, you're like, "Where did those 20 years go?" So,
But
it
that's
was fun.
awesome, and also encouraging to those that are in their 20s and may think that they have lost the opportunity to join the military because you're not fresh out of high school. There are still opportunities, and I believe some age limits have increased over the years as well. Do you know about that?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Actually, I think I don't know if all the branches, but recently they did because recruiting is so low. And when the military needs people, that's the time to go in. But yeah, I really encourage it was a benefit to me to have gone in at an old, being a little bit more mature. Because if I'd have gone in, these 18, 19-year-old kids that go in, of course they get in trouble. I would have gotten in trouble if I'd have gone in at 18, 19 years old because, but by the time 28, I'd had a lot of wild times already, so I didn't have to do that in the military where there was a lot more rules. So that helped me.
And that's awesome. It's a lot to have served in the military, to be a business owner, wear a lot of hats. And a lot of times it seems like because of social media, right? We're always pushing, pushing, pushing forward, smiling, presented well. But I kind of also want to talk about how tough it is to get through this season and how social media kind of is not just who we are every day, right? We have to get up, get dressed to look like this, but we could be struggling right now in this season.
Yes, definitely. The holidays are so hard. Even when you have the perfect life, you're married, you got kids, you got whatever, there's a lot of stress that comes with that. And then if you're single, there's a lot of stress that comes with that. And this time of year, it's so important that we just stop and take a breath and we really concentrate on self-care because if we as women are the nucleus of everything because we've got our hands in everything in the family life, in the community, in the church, in organizations. Everything revolves around us. And when we are not at our best, we cannot give our best. You can't pour from an empty cup. So, but you're right. I mean, day for day, every morning, just about every morning, uh, I go for a walk with my dog. And I do like quick 1 minute reels, I post, and I've got usually, depending on how cold it is, I either have my hair pulled up in a ponytail or right now I've got my winter hat and I've got, my coat and I'm all bundled up, no makeup. But I just jump on just to say hello or just like this time of the year, I'm giving kind of savings tips for the holidays. Um, just something so people can see the real me because yeah, this does not just happen. This is not an accident.
But I love that though, doing short reels out in the morning with the dog, just bear. This is who I am. And I feel like, as we're on this journey, especially as a coach, it's just great for others to hear that you don't have to show up perfect. You have to show up.
Yes, and that's the key, and it's so funny because, in my direct sales business, I had over 1,900 friends on my Facebook. I had, um, over 500 followers on my business page, and, my Facebook page got hacked. And Facebook shut me down. So
Oh no.
and I mean, I was in, like, my team, I was in their groups, I can't even tell you how many groups I was in, but I think that was God's way of saying, "You know what? Why don't you slow down a little bit?" Sometimes we have to slow down to speed up, and when all of that went away, I really kinda looked at where I was, what I wanted. I'm getting ready to start a podcast, and I'm very excited about that. That's how we
Awesome.
met,
Yes.
actually. And, I wanna focus women that are just doing great things just by showing up every day. And I think that's so important, and you just nailed it because we don't have a choice. We have to show up every day. But it's how we show up, how authentic we are, and to who we are, not to who someone else thinks we are or who they're trying to make us into, but who we really are at our core values. And that's really important to me because my core values are faith, family, and service. So, and everything that I do, I look at now, it's like, are these in line with my core values? And that's one of the things I talk about when we're setting our goals. Our goals have to be in line with our core values because if not, they're not going to work.
That is awesome. I love that nugget, especially where you started with the slow down to speed up. That is amazing advice. The intentionality of the core values, right? Keeping that center so that we always know that we're operating from purpose. Thank you so much for that advice as well. I cannot wait to see your podcast and all the information you'll be giving. I did check out your website and took the quiz. I thought that was really awesome as well. I loved that. So we know how January is starting off. How can we support you?
Oh, goodness gracious. I think this webinar, this is the first time I've done a webinar, so I'm excited and nervous, because our body doesn't know if we're nervous or excited. So if we just keep telling ourselves, I'm so excited, I'm so excited. So that's what I'm doing. Um, so I would love if people could share that. And, there's going to be a gift at the end just to kind of walk people through to go through and highlight what the SMART goals are all about and just gives them some questions so they can start working on their own. I am going to have a course starting in the new year, but that is totally up to the people, if it's right for you. And you know what? It's who do you know that it could be right to or right for? Because
Mhm.
we all know people who are struggling that just need a little direction, even though we are successful women in whatever we do. We still need direction. We need support. Um, yeah, and just, I've just started a Facebook group so that way we can have sisterhood and community and support and just cheer each other on through the year. Because sometimes we need someone else to breathe that belief into us until we start breathing along with it. So
Yes.
it's all in who we surround ourselves with, because if those people that you're surrounding yourself with aren't supporting you to be the best that you can be, then you might need new people to surround yourself with.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's so true, right? I always hear your network is your net worth. And I really believe that who you surround yourself with is who you are, really. And as women, business leaders, all of these things, like you said, we're the nucleus. It's really
Mhm.
helpful for us to band together and help one another, which is what She Served Sheroes is all about. So, with the She Served Sheroes mission specifically, we are trying to be a resource for women veteran in business. So I always ask anyone that we talk to, were there any resources that you utilized along the way that people may not know about that have helped you in your journey?
Well, and throughout my journey, like when we bought our convenience store, the Small Business Association, the SBA,
Yes.
was amazing. They have so many free resources there, just creating a business plan to get a business loan. We didn't know anything about that. And, the military, even though, they have classes as you out process, it's all uh, around creating your resume, dressing for interviews, all that kind of stuff. And I'm like, what if I don't want a job? And when you say that to them, they're just kind of taken aback. They're like, what do you mean? Um, and get into like networking groups, specifically female networking groups, because there's so many good ones out there. And please don't ask me to name them because when I said that, I was like, um, but where we can support each other. So those kind of things are just so valuable. women there are women out there that want to see other women succeed. So those are the people that, you surround yourself with. But,
Yes,
yeah,
absolutely.
the SBA was fantastic.
Thank you for that nugget. And also for the networking in groups, it is very important. And, if you know your niche, you can start looking for your network. So, or what's happening at that time to get you to the next level. Like both of us, we're new in podcasting. So we joined a podcasting group. So it's
Yep.
like if you're trying to find something, find where those people are
Yes,
and
and
get
get
that support.
involved in the group. Yeah, and get the support, but get involved with the group. Don't be spammy. Don't, like go out and, I've got this, I'm trying to sell that, and blah, blah, blah. Give advice, help people when they ask questions, and answer questions or make comments, constructive comments. And
Yes,
that way, and just be involved in the group. So that way, if somebody says, "Hey, do you know somebody that could help me with blank?" And maybe that is what you do is blank, you can reach out to them, but DM them.
right.
You can always just put a little comment in, "Hey, I just sent you a DM." And that way you can say, "This is what I do. I'd love to chat with you, get to learn a little bit more about you," because it's a relationship. It is not you're not trying to, especially as women, we don't wanna be sold to. We wanna buy, but we don't wanna be sold to. So, talk to your potential clients and get to know them and develop that relationship. That's so important.
Definitely. I know that when I'm in groups, I kind of click on the person's name to see what their history was in the group, what they've been saying, how they've been commenting, what they've been contributing. So totally understand that. Thank you for that as well. All of your great nuggets. We will be showing some of these throughout the week. I'm so thankful that you are willing to rise and shine with me. I know in Tennessee it's not as early as it is here on the West Coast, but this week before the holidays, we really just kind of want to speak to women, show some love, get to know our community because, we do want to continue to support each other and build this network of women veterans that can amplify their voices and their stories so that we can all grow together. So again, I thank you so much for getting up with us this morning and being the first person kicking off our Monday on these lives. Mondays are not easy.
Well,
So
that's the
I
good
don't
thing
want to
about
just
being
let you go.
retired.
Awesome. Is there anything else that you want to share with us on this good Monday morning before we get off for the day?
I would just say, we were talking about like this time of year. Please reach out to, friends, family. Like if you're in groups and you see people that make comments, because I'm in several of female veteran groups, and people will reach out and just say, "I'm having a hard time." Reach out to those people because that may just be the only you may be the only person that does that. And something as simple as like when you're out, because we all know this time of year you're out shopping, you got last minute gifts, you got to pick up kids, you got to get Christmas dinner, all that kind of stuff. Take a breath, smile at somebody, just be a human being. Don't, you don't have to be the first one in line. You don't have to be the first one in traffic. Just take a minute because it is so dangerous nowadays. Because it used to be people would just maybe, communicate hand gestures to you. Now they shoot you. So please take that into consideration when you're out and you have that quick click of temper. Just take a breath, but
Yes.
interact with people, smile at them, tell them to have a nice day, and you'd be surprised how far that goes.
You are absolutely right. Thank you so much, April. I really appreciate you being on with us. We look forward to seeing everything that you have coming up in 2024. And we look forward to getting to know you better. Happy holidays.
Happy holidays to you, and I'm so excited about your group and just getting to know people and just, reaching out and because I am all about female veterans and I just think we just need to support each other.
We're definitely stronger together. I agree. So I will be seeing you on the internet and in your webinar in January, and we'll keep in touch. And thank you so much. Have a great week and happy holidays.
Thank you. Same to you.
Thank you.